Okay, so if you feel like, you're reading 3 articles a day, grabbing every newsletter, but somehow retaining absolutely zero, well, this deep dive is probably for you. We're jumping into this surprisingly rigid system. It's designed to speed up useful learning and maybe more importantly, fight that feeling of information overload. And it uses this core idea they call N or K.
Right, N or K. And what's really interesting here is that N or K, it stands for new or revision knowledge. It immediately puts some structure around your learning time.
New or revision knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just a catchy name. It sets this mandatory dual goal. The idea is that your actual learning time, your dedicated time, has to be split. You need time for new stuff, sure, but also for revisiting the old stuff.
Okay. So it's not passive reading. And I follow this specific method. I'm called a Norker, someone who's really deliberate about splitting that learning time.
That's the term they use, yeah. A Norker.
Is there like a rule, a specific ratio for revision versus new things?
There is, actually. The system kind of embeds this rule that a pretty significant chunk of your learning time, they often suggest maybe 25 to 30%, must be revision knowledge.
Must be, wow.
Yeah. It's designed to stop the new information constantly pushing out the foundational stuff,
Yeah.
So you stop building like skyscrapers on sand.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay,
but Nork isn't just floating out there on its own, right? You mentioned it's part of something bigger.
correct. It fits into this broader structure called IG concepts. That's information gathering concepts. And the whole point is tackling what they call IOA. Information overload issues. It's the big problem they're trying to solve.
Okay, the enemy, IOA. So how do they fight it? What's the weapon?
Well, the main tool they push for managing that flood, for simplifying it, is the iOS framework.
iOS framework.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to talk about the name. That sounds exactly like, the Apple operating system.
Yeah, the branding is definitely a bit confusing. No argument there.
Is it just jargon, or does it actually do something unique with information?
It does. Setting the name aside, the mechanism is quite powerful. Think of the iOS approach like a synthesis engine. It forces you to sort information, shorten it, clarify complex ideas.
Oh.
Well, for you as the learner, it means any source material, an article, a chapter, whatever, has to be boiled down, reduced to a really tight summary, maybe 150 words, sometimes less. It gives you this clear, distilled structure before you even get to the NRK learning stage.
Okay, so it transforms that fire hose of information
Into a single, manageable glass of water.
I think
Exactly.
okay, let's unpack the whole learning cycle then, because Nork is just step one, the learning and revising part. Once I have that distilled NRK foundation, how do I stop it just, evaporating the minute I close the book or browser?
Good question. That's the critical next piece, and it's handled by something called Mork.
Mork. Okay, Nork and Mork.
Right. Nork is about the input, the definition, the learning and revising. Mork is purely about memorizing it, keeping that knowledge active and sticky.
How's that different from just rereading my notes?
It's much more active. Mork uses specific testing methods. Things like active recall, spaced repetition are often mandated. You might have to test yourself on that distilled info every, say, 48 hours. It's structured recall.
Okay, learn with Nork, memorize with Mork. What's next? Is there a third piece?
Yes, and this is the one lots of systems miss. Mataios.
Mataios. Application.
Exactly. Application. Because without it, the knowledge just stays theoretical, right? Stuck in your head.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Mataios forces you to build a bridge. It dictates that the information you've norked and morked must be applied, used in a real project or in your daily tasks within a certain time frame.
So it's mandatory application.
It's the step that moves you from just consuming information to actually demonstrating you can use it. Competence.
Got it. So the whole cycle for a serious Norker is crystal clear then. Learn, memorize, apply, Nork, Mork, Mataios. Simple but enforced. And just for clarity, they mentioned transparency too, right? About using AI tools alongside human effort.
Yeah, they're pretty open about that. They state that content creation involves both humans and AI, but it's subject to rigorous human review. The goal is always usefulness and accuracy.
Okay, so the real value here isn't just the acronyms, it's the structure, moving past just consuming the next thing.
Exactly. It shifts you towards intentional, organized application, building a foundation that actually supports what you want to achieve instead of just feeling overwhelmed.
So what does this mean for you listening? Whether you adopt this whole system or just parts of it, maybe consider this final thought. You might spend an hour today chasing the absolute newest fact, right? The latest development. But what if, instead, you spend that hour purely on revision knowledge? Does that purposeful review, going back over your existing foundation, actually change the depth of your understanding more profoundly than just grabbing the next new shiny thing? Something to think about.